Hey guys, welcome back to Etheria Restart. In today's video, I wanted to take a look at 3 underrated units. Now, they're probably getting more properly rated now as more people find out about these guys, but I think they are fantastic units. And over here on my Asia server account, which is on day 13 of play, these guys have been absolutely amazing for my entire progression. And I want to go through them. Now, there's definitely other units that I really want to build and stuff like that that are lower rarity, but obviously, you can only do so many. And that's the great thing about these guys. They're all SR or R units. So the first one I want to talk about is Obol. Now, Obol is a general great unit, usable in a lot of areas. Now, he's not going to be your main unit in, say, Doki Doki clears or anything like that. He's not going to be major in any of the big module dungeons. That's not his place. He's great in some of the shell dungeons, and he's great just in general areas of the game when you look to any of those harder PvE type modes where stuns and dots become huge. Ember Trek, Ethernet Rally, in those type of areas, he is absolutely amazing. So I want to go through him first of all because he is the one that I actually 6-starred on this account. So he's skill 3. The reason I used to not rate this guy too highly is because of this skill. And wait till we get to talk about Arena. This guy is like the absolute clutch in Arena, and I'll talk about why that is. But this skill, the way I read it, I used to interpret this wrong. So it says dealing 3 hits of damage to all enemies. Each hit has a 30% chance to inflict 1 stack of 1-turn dot. And there is a 30% chance to inflict a 1-turn stun. That wording caught me off guard when I first looked at this guy, and I thought it was 3 dot applications, but only 1 chance to apply stun with a 30% chance. But once again, my interpretation was wrong. It is a 30% chance 3 times. So this becomes actually a really reliable stun, especially if you have enough accuracy. The ceiling of this thing, based on the way the accuracy works, if you have enough accuracy, that goes up to 60% chance 3 times, which is a very large chance to go ahead and land that stun, which is really nice. Obviously, he is max skilled. Keep that in mind as well. So the dots and the stun is the big one on this one. Then we have the AoE Dispel. Now, this isn't a genuine Dispel. It's a conversion into dots. So the thing with this one is it doesn't remove 2 buffs and apply 2 dots. They have to have the buffs, and you can only convert buffs. So if they have 1 buff, they'll only get 1 dot. If they have 2 buffs, they'll get 2 dots. If they have no buffs, this skill is absolutely dead, but the idiot still uses it. So unfortunately, it is what it is. Great if they have buffs to remove, and then you go ahead and get those dots. Then we have his basic attack, which has max skilled. It's a 2-turn dot on the basic. Nice for extra poisons. So that is what his kit is. Now, like I said, he's great in those other modes where you need to stun enemies. You need to use poison damage because it's really important. And if there's a dispel situation, absolutely fantastic. Now, you can see mine at the moment is at 308 speed. Now, I have gone ahead and made him my fastest unit because this guy is an absolute sleeper in RTA. I streamed a couple days ago, and we were like, this account was like, I think at level 54. And we were beating level 80, level 90 counts in RTA because we would draft the Lily as bait for them to ban. They would ban the Lily, and then we'd just outspeed with Obol. Now, obviously, higher ratings when you get more bulwark sets with the immunity, this ain't going to work. But for a early game player, something like this is absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to get to 308 speed in 13 days, but even if you're at 280 speed or something like that, it's still going to be solid, and it's still going to be helpful for your arena battles as well. But like I said, this guy, just one of those overall good units. I'm currently using him. I'm only farming Hell on this one in Shadow Flame Hoyan, but he is my DPS in there as well. But he's a fantastic unit in a bunch of different areas as well. He is in my Inferno team for farming Nico Nana. He's great over there. He stuns those ads, gets the poison damage, and really just gets everything done. So especially bosses that have ads that he can stun, really performs well in those kinds of situations. So that is where I love Obol. Like I said, the guy is just an absolute beast and can really clap in Arena as well if he is fast enough, because a lot of people don't think to ban him when you've got other threats on board. So that is Obol. The next one is my man Vice. I absolutely love this guy. I used him from the very start on this account. So if you look at this account, unfortunately has not, I think we've done 400 or 500 summons. I do not have red Chiaki, and I do not have green Sanya. So I started this account with no healers, and my only healer was Vice. And the dude just absolutely carries. And he is amazing. Some arena games that we went to, like, he can like just clutch the end of an arena game. He's great, once again, in any of those PvE modes. He's great in Doki Doki up until you get to Inferno. Inferno, unfortunately, the destroyed max HP ruins him. What does he do? He has an AoE attack break with gauge pushback. Really, really nice on a 3-turn cooldown. He has a passive over here, which when he lands a debuff, he heals himself and cleanses a debuff. If he's at max HP, he will heal an ally. This is absolutely massive because his AoE, if there's 5 targets, if he lands attack break on all 5 targets, let's say he's at 80% health, one of those will heal him to full, and then if it's 5 targets, he'll have 4 other heals to distribute to his allies, so he can be a massive heal. But then on top of that, he has the taunt on the skill 1 with a 2-hitter. Now it's only a 30% chance, but it is a double hitter, so if he does manage to land the taunt twice, even though it just refreshes, there will be 2 heals applied off that. So for that reason, I have mine over here on Time Weave and Bramble. Now, Time Weave isn't necessary. I just like getting the pushback more often with his skill 3 in those like areas that have more enemies. And the Time Weave's nice to keep getting more debuffs and attack breaks so that you keep healing more. That's why I really like it. And then the Bramble set is here because it gives him access to Revenge, which once again, when you Revenge taunt, it means you're going to go ahead and that taunt is going to stay on them till their next turn, but it's also going to give you those heals, which is really nice. This guy, fantastic for any boss that can be taunted, because you essentially lock out the boss's whole kit when you taunt them. Only bosses that can be taunted, like things like Terramonton, you can land the taunt, but he still does his thing, so it doesn't matter. But some of those bosses like Nico Nana, specifically, like this guy is also in my Nico Nana Inferno team, but because she can be what's going on with the screen here? I don't even know what I did. But because she can be taunted and only use her skill 1, it stops her using her AoE death break. And then the same happens in a lot of these other, once again, Ethernet Rally, Ember Trek. He is so clutch in so many bosses in Ethernet Rally, just to put that taunt on and you lock out some of their kit, which is absolutely amazing. So that is Vice. Like I said, I have had some clutch arena games with him because of his ability. If you get down to like a 2v2 or a 1v1, his solo healing capabilities, along with the attack break and taunt, locking enemies out of using their, their high powered skills. And also when they attack, they're going to have reduced attack. Like, this guy, really good in those clutch situations in the late game. Even mine at 5-star was carrying me through some games. So absolutely fantastic. And the final unit that I want to mention here, before we get into that, some honorable mentions that I want to talk about. Just one key one that I want to talk about, who I really want to build, but I just haven't had the resources yet. That is this version of Kaz. I think she is a great substitute for Lily. Nothing is ever going to replace Lily. Lily is absolutely cracked. But when we look at her, she has the speed buff. It goes to 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. So if you put her on a Time Weave, you get 1 proc over those 3 turns. You've got a 100% uptime. It also reduces all cooldowns of allies, which is really, really nice. Like cooldown reduction, it's a massive thing in general. She also has a Dispel on the skill 1 with an increase as well to cooldowns for enemies and a speed slow. I think she is absolutely amazing. She's like the next one I really want to build, but there's so many other units that you kind of need to build for specific situations. So I'm waiting to see how my count pans out on which one I build next. But I wanted to give a massive shout out to Kaz, the red version. If she was a light or dark unit, dude, I'd have her built ASAP, because then she would be like my substitute for Lily. But unfortunately, she is red. I'm trying to cook a free-to-play Doki team. It is getting super tough. If only she was not red, she would have been straight in there, because she's the only other like real reliable speed buffer that we have that isn't a premium unit. Like, you look at Tsukiyomi, you look at Mio, you look at Lily. She's like the only SR great speed buffer for the whole team. So once again, massive shout out to her. But the other one that I want to look at is Kachi the Guard. This guy is absolutely amazing. Some would refer to him as Kachi the Goat. Now, this guy, his skill 3 is amazing. I've talked about him in a few videos. My accuracy is a little low. You really want to get him to 182, I believe, is the benchmark for accuracy. It's between 181 and 183. And what that does is, if you have him at that accuracy, he's always going to critically success when max skilled, and critically successing means that he puts a 3-turn defense buff, 2-turn immunity on his whole team, and extends any other buffs that they had. That is a crazy effect on this one. And his skill 2 is even really, really solid. He does 3 hits and puts the speed break and turn gauge pushback. So he's got turn gauge pushback with a speed break on the skill 2. So nice for bosses. And then his skill 1 has a crit down. This isn't really great. The only reason I skilled it up was to get a bit of extra speed into him. But yeah, like this isn't crazy, but this skill 2, skill 3, absolutely amazing. Now this guy, I run him on Time Weave. You can see he's on 12 Time Weave, 8 Swift Rush. Ideally, I'd have 12, but I don't have the pieces or the shells to make it work. I do like him on the Halloween with the Time Weave. Gives him more cooldown reduction to get around to that skill 3 more often. Now, sometimes the Halloween will proc and do his skill 2. It is what it is, but in general, I really like that combo of the two of them to be able to get around to his cooldowns a lot quicker because they are really nice. When you pair him with something like Ling Luo, who can extend buffs as well, then you have a really good buff extension, immunity, survival core. You got the defense buff, you got plenty of healing, you got 2 characters that can apply immunity. You know, you've got a lot of stuff going on in this core, and you know, sometimes you can just maintain that 100% uptime of this defense buff and immunity, and it is so damn nice. But this guy, absolute legend of the game. Ever since the game got harder in the Inferno modes, this guy has been shining really bright. Once again, he is in like the entry level Nico team because he is able to apply those. He's able to block getting the stuns, block getting the defense shreds. It's just, he's absolutely massive here for survival. Like I said, for the Inferno over here, my team does have Lily in place of him at the moment, I believe. Yes, but the budget team is just looking like this, and this is an incredibly solid team. I showed it on my other account before they nerfed Nico Nana using Fangus instead of Obol as well, and that worked perfectly fine. But this is the perfect example of why I love these guys. I built them from the start, and as soon as I hit level 50, I was able to come in and just go and farm Nico Nana straight off the bat without having to, you know, get anything else. It was just like jump straight in. These guys just absolutely dominate. You can see that 3-turn defense buff, the 2-turn immunity, makes easy work of that. We get the revenge proc on the Vice there. So you saw the revenge proc. Now the boss is taunted. Boss only going to hit Vice. Everyone's fully healed. We're super safe. Once again, Ling Luo is just a free-to-play unit in this one. We get that speed reduction and pushback on the boss. Once again, I just love the synergy between these 3 units and like their kits in themselves. They're absolutely fantastic. You can see there we got stunned. Doesn't matter. We cleanse it, and then we just keep trucking on. As you can see, he is back up to buffing the defense and the immunity. It's back up again. Happens so damn quick. Once again, we do have the Halloween and the Time Weave really manipulating that. But you can see like these types of units, like they're just absolutely fantastic. There we go. We get the pushback again. Obol goes in with his skill 2, which is absolutely useless, but once again, this boss does get buffs, so stripping those buffs is going to be nice. So unfortunately, we didn't hit the Time Weave proc, but his ability should be on next turn. Okay, so we should be able to Time Weave here and land the Kachi. We do get controlled. Once again, Ling Luo, fantastic free-to-play unit coming in with those cleansers, making it easy, giving us that immunity. Then we come back, we put the 2-turn immunity on, we extend. It's just a really nice... these 3 units, I just absolutely love them. So I'm not going to leave this whole run because it is a little bit of a slower run. But once again, Obol, fantastic for any boss that can be poisoned and then has ads that you can deal with. Any of those areas where you can go ahead and control ads in the Ember Trek, in the Echoes, in anywhere like that. He is absolutely clutch. Vice, just all around amazing. Attack break, great effect to have no matter what, especially in harder content. Pushback, always great. And then Taunt, fantastic, along with the fact that he can heal his allies. And you can see, like, Nico is just not using her skill 2 because she can't do her AoE because she is perma-taunted. And that is the fantastic thing. Now, this may be the one chance she has to use her AoE, unless we happen to use skill 1. I think we got skill 2 ready. Yeah, so we do the pushback. Unfortunately, we don't have the Taunt on, but we do have the defense buff, all that good stuff, and we're pretty safe anyway. But yeah, Vice, great in a lot of those types of places. And then Kachi, once again, the defense core of him and Ling Luo, absolutely amazing. Recommend all these guys if you want to. I do think, you know, before these guys, if you're looking at like going Doki first, you know, Kaz is going to be a very important one. We all know how strong Kaz is, the green Kaz for Doki and stuff like that. So when you're prioritizing cubes, keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. But once again, once you've got your first few units built and you're looking for other, you know, more common units to build, these guys are fantastic. And I recommend, once again, I definitely recommend always buying from the arena shop the rare lattices. So that's how you're going to go ahead and skill up things like the Vice. Now, I doubt they'll probably put any more rare units into the game. That's very doubtful to me. But wait, is this good? No. I doubt they'll put any more rare units into the game, but I am still in the arena shop. If we go to exchange shop here for the arena, I'm still buying all these every time because there is a few other good rare units that I'm skilling up at the moment. Not as good on the, and like not on the level of Vice, but still pretty good. And I'm just going to buy these every time from the arena store. So I've got a stockpile in case I ever decide I want to build one of these rare units. I've got those in there. I really think these shouldn't exist, but they do. So, you know, go ahead and pick them up if you do have the points to do so. Obviously, Perfect Lattice is top priority. The Evolution Lattice is my second priority. And then I go ahead and get this. The reason I bought these was because I wanted to use the skill ups. But, you know, I've still got 5 days and I've owned 61. So I'm obviously going to get to this Perfect Lattice. But definitely these are still the priority over anything else. But, you know, if you really don't care about the rares, don't worry. But once again, Vice is for one. I would be picking these up until you have enough to max Vice at least, because the dude is an absolute beast. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.